today we are heading Bear Grylls style to Big Sur in California, where we had a very interesting experience with a bikini.
What was that?
That was like sinking the
I thought
camera.
you were like...
Yeah. We're staying domestic today in the United States of America.
Okay.
No, I feel like I'm on High School Musical. Soaring, flying.
There's not a something and something. Hi everyone, I'm Skylar.
And I'm Ross.
Welcome to Learning Brave. Today we are heading to USA, California.
California, USA.
There are so many beautiful things to see in California. Today we're taking you on an adventure to Big Sur.
Big Sur is located a couple of hours south of Monterey.
Okay, so basically we made some friends in Mexico and followed them to their house.
Yes.
And then stayed in their house.
Hey guys, we love you.
Stop saying hello to people.
Oh.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So we made some friends in Mexico and followed them to their house in California.
Yes.
Stayed with them. And then they took us around to show us some beautiful parts of Mexico.
Yeah, it was gonna.
I just said Mexico again.
I know what's going on with you today. What's going on? Ready? California is now a part of the United States of America.
No, I can't accept it.
Give it back to Mexico. Give it back to Mexico.
Drive down Highway 1 towards Big Sur and you will come to the most beautiful bridge in the world. It's amazing.
Bixby Bridge.
Bixby Bridge. We tried to take a family photo, failed. We always have some family members who are crying or mad at us. Or...
Well, actually, what I remember is trying to take a great photo. To get a great photo of Bixby Bridge, you've got to go up a side road and you've all got to line up in front of it. But on one side of it's quite a large drop off. And
a steep drop
very
with no fences.
That's it.
And we have a toddler who likes to fling himself off.
Yeah.
High.
It's like, here we are, let's take a picture. Where is the baby? Oh, he's down the cliff. Great stuff.
So that was a bit nerve-wracking. But we got beautiful photos and we were like, today is going to be magical.
I mean, that Highway 1 that goes south of Monterey is absolutely beautiful though. If you have not taken that drive before, please do. It's amazing.
Please do.
Please do. Please do.
Please go. Go to California.
Go to California. Go down Highway 1.
The state of California has not employed us.
No, we received no commissions from the state of California.
Do you have my money?
What?
Do you have my money?
How could I?
Right. Too soon.
We were going to Big Sur. I only knew about this place because it was the name of a fabric line I had purchased for a quilt.
No way.
True.
Really?
It's called Big Sur.
Was it sort of wavy? And
No, it was
beachy?
like little, what are those, little camper vans and
really?
pine trees and rivers and stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we were told by our friend, a Mexican friend, that's why I'm so confused today. We were told by a friend that there was this secret pool of water in Big Sur.
Yes.
And it was so magical that we needed to see it.
And it had a waterfall running into this lovely pool and you could swim and go up on the waterfall. We're like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, totally. We didn't quite know what to expect, so we weren't sure what to bring with us. So we all got in our bathers. What's that in America?
Swimsuit.
We donned our swimsuits and
You sound like Michael McIntyre there.
I donned our swimsuits.
You have no idea. You have no idea what it's like.
And I sound like toot sweets, toot sweets.
Oh, chitty chitty bang bang. Toot sweet, toot sweet.
We gathered some stuff that we thought we might need. We weren't sure, some towels and some food,
Beach
and
umbrella,
camera. Okay, so
bag.
it's beautiful.
bag full of water.
That wasn't us. And we started to make our way there. So in the beginning, it was just this little toddle through the bush.
A toddle. That's come up before. A toddle?
Yes,
I don't think I've ever heard of that word before.
it's English.
Is it the urban? Does it come from the Urban Dictionary?
I think it's from the English dictionary.
I'm sure it has.
Just a little bit of a hike. We didn't need hiking shoes or anything, just wearing our sandals. And then we had to cross a river. It was a fairly
It was very calm.
yes, it wasn't extreme,
Wasn't-
extreme river crossing
Wasn't very
or anything.
deep.
So
Went up to maybe our thighs.
we're like, we can do this. So we just kind of like picked everything up. We made the river crossing and we had to split up, but we all made it to the other side. And by this point we were feeling like,
Yeah, Bear Grylls, eat your heart out, man.
It's a dangerous drop, and one that I can't afford to get wrong.
we're gonna climb through the American
Bush.
mountains.
The American bush.
It's bush in Australia.
Okay, the American what?
Or-
Hinterlands.
And it was all going good. As we continued
Up the ravine.
up this ravine, we're going like on tracks next to the river. We noticed people coming back from the hidden magic
The magical waterfall.
and none of them had children. It's the first thing I began to notice. They all looked like young adults.
Young fit couples.
adults wearing bikinis,
Yes.
usually. And they were all coming back looking very wet. I noticed this and we continued on, and we had to sometimes climb over like big rocks, and what we do is we would like do those like things where you line up and you pass the stuff.
Yeah, well, that's when things started to get a bit hairy because we had to do some river crossings.
Well, that first there were like the big rocks,
Yes.
and then we handled that. We were like, yeah, we can do this, and we'd meet some people and we'd be like, is it really difficult to get there? And they're like, oh no, you should be alright if you just like carry the kids and
Yeah, and we're like,
yeah, you should.
What?
They sounded slightly suspicious, but mostly they reassured us that it should be alright.
so we got to a couple of spots where we had to cross the river, and it was not calm. The river was pretty strong.
Yeah,
And so we made a human chain.
So
No kidding.
by this point, the river's like here.
There was one point that I planted myself in the middle of the river, got some good footing, and I literally handed over things across, and then I started handing over people. And the funniest part was when
The current was really strong.
Well, the funniest part was when our friend and we actually formed a human chain, and we had to pass our wives across the river. Do you remember that?
not recall this.
You guys
This
wouldn't
could
get
be
in.
false information.
No, it's not.
I-
I remember it. We had to sort of pass the wives across.
I remember the current was really strong and deep, and I remember being mostly paranoid about my phone and my camera.
Yes.
And so we were like, up
Keep
to
it
here in
above
water,
the
and we're like
water.
passing all this stuff, and then we got to the other side, and it was very scary because, like, if anyone had lost their footing, they would have been swept down into this like ravine of death in California.
I love how dramatic you make it.
What? You don't think they would have died?
There's
Drowned?
a possibility they could
They
have
were
died.
young.
Yeah. We wouldn't
Hit a
have.
head on a rock.
Yeah, anything.
Anything could have happened. A bear might have come out and eaten them.
No. UFO could have come down and the aliens could have taken them up for scientific experiments.
Shut up.
It was really dangerous,
It was,
guys.
it was a bit. It was a bit.
It was, yes.
And then we crossed the ravine, and then we had to like help each other climb these really big rocks, and we were like passing all this stuff over. And at one point, we mixed up what we were carrying, and I was carrying this like giant, heavy bag.
It was like a beach tote.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Full of something. It was so heavy, and I was like climbing up these rocks. Oh, I wasn't sure. I didn't have the energy to check what it was. I figured it must be important if we're carrying it all the way to the top of the mountain. And then at another point, we'd like scrambled over some rock and lifted up kids, and I'd been handing stuff, and I was like, what am I carrying? And then I realized I'd carried this like really long object for a while. Wasn't as my friends had brought it with us. It was an umbrella. I was like, why am I carrying an umbrella for?
Beach umbrella.
What the hell am I doing that for?
The beach umbrella. And did you find out what was in the bag?
Yeah, on the way back, I was carrying the same bag, and I checked full of water.
Water.
While we hiked our way up a river full of fresh river water.
Pristine river water, and we're carrying bottles of water. It was so funny.
So I had this like hissy fit about this umbrella that I was carrying.
The umbrella and
and
the
our
water.
friend was like, "It's great, we need it. You'll see."
So anyway, suffice to say, we finally arrived at the top of this ravine, and through much, Bear Grill, it was our Bear Grill experience.
Climbing.
You're not attached to any safety line above. But remember, if you do come away from the face, you'll fall twice the distance.
Drinking out of our hands. And
It was funny. The thing that got me was where we actually got all our clothes and bundled it above it. We were not naked. It's okay.
We had togs on.
We had our togs. We had our swimsuits on. But we did have the rest of our clothes, having to put it above our head and getting across
and
rivers.
camera gear and babies and stuff like that.
That was fun. I felt like, like Bear Grylls.
Mountain men.
Yeah.
We did reach the top, and to get to the little spot where you can kind of sit on the rocks and bask in the sun before you swim in the magical pool, we did have to do one final crossing that was pretty scary.
That was a bit scary.
Was
We nearly lost one kid.
Yeah. And someone lost a shoe.
Yeah, they lost a shoe that went down.
And it was this very fast bit that went straight down. It was scary.
It was so exciting.
And so cold. The water was freezing.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I do.
I remember that.
So-
It was fine, guys.
I did, in fact, sit under the umbrella. Thank you.
It was worthwhile bringing that umbrella, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It was good fun. And one of the things that I love to do up on this this sort of, what would we call it? A little pond or a lake. It wasn't a lake. It wasn't
A magical pool.
It was like a pool. It was a pool of water in the river.
At the top of these series of waterfalls, basically.
Yeah, and there was a waterfall. And one thing we try to do is you have to dive and try and swim up to the waterfall. And that's very hard to do because it was quite a strong current. But there was a technique to it, and so you dive underneath and you go up, and it was a lot of fun. Then you climb up the waterfall and jump back in, and it was a really fun experience.
I'm going to cut you off
Okay, why?
because we've got to move on to the bikinis.
The bikinis.
So at this time in the history of the world, and it's still continuing now.
If you're watching this in 50 years' time,
This is what's going on.
This is part of bikini culture.
2019, USA, America.
Yep.
That's when, yeah. There was an unfortunate swimsuit trend,
Fashion trend.
yes, where most of the girls were wearing bikini bottoms that are like this tiny little wedge of fabric,
Look, they were thongs.
pretending to be a bikini bottom. And their whole bum is exposed.
Yes.
Which is fine if you're a supermodel and you look amazing. You have an amazing bottom.
I can't believe we're talking about this on our channel. Let's give them a story. So, just as our families were leaving our spot, we'd been there for a couple of hours. We were just leaving, and to get into this little area, you had to scale a couple of large rocks, and it was a bit difficult.
Very large.
They were
twice your size.
Yeah, they were pretty big.
Yeah.
And so we'd got all the kids down, they'd passed, they were heading down the ravine now. So a couple were just coming up to where we had been, and they were trying to get themselves onto a large rock, which is where you would dive into the pool
Yeah.
from.
And most of our group had already gone ahead.
Yeah.
And so Ross and I were the last ones, and I'd already jumped down and moved on to the next rock. Ross came down last, and the couple asked Ross if they'd help. This guy asked if he'd
Could you give us a hand to get up onto the rock?
to help his girlfriend up. 'cause
Yeah, like
he needed an extra person to.
He had
just-
already got up there, and there was like a branch that you would have to get your bare feet on and give you grip. His girlfriend was, she was finding it difficult to get onto this rock. It was quite difficult for her to do that, and so he sort of yelled out and said, "Hey man, can you give us a hand?" As I was going past, and so I ended up
Ross is very chivalrous, and he was like, "Of course I'll help
Of course
you."
I'll help you. Yeah.
So before he knows it, He's underneath.
No. Didn't get that. First of all, I held her hand and helped her to get some grip, just so she could get her balance, so she could get herself up. But she was struggling so much that by the time her boyfriend sort of grabbed her hands and was trying to drag her up, but she wasn't going anywhere. So I didn't really have much of an option. To help her to get up, I sort of had to close my eyes, place my 2 hands on her butt cheeks, and push. I was literally...
You have to tell me my perspective. I was over on a different rock, and I look back, and I was like, my husband's shoving his hands up a mostly naked lady's bum.
You just said shoving up. I wasn't shoving up.
You were like doing this.
I was pushing against to help get up the rock.
Unfortunately, the lady he was helping was wearing
those bikinis.
Special bikinis that are in fashion, and she was pretty much naked.
It was not an experience I like to think about.
So I looked back at Ross's face, and he was like... And she was above your head, you're just like...
Oh, man.
It was hilarious.
So anyway, when I think back to this day, I think of our Bear Grylls experience, and then I think of me doing this. As I helped someone beat the chivalrous Ross came out.
Clothing's great. Like, serious. It helps with life.
It does, yeah. Anyway, it was...
If you remove clothing from like mountainous treks, things can get a little bit awkward.
Yeah, they should never have been hiking
naked
in those bikini bottoms. I don't know what they were thinking.
All right.
Anyway.
Thanks for coming today, guys. If you would like to know more, head to learningbrave.com, and also let us know in the comments if you have any questions or if there's any part of the world you'd like to know about. And don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Clearly this is not an informative channel. More humorous, I'd say. Today we are heading to Big Sur in California, Mexico.
Oh my goodness! Where do you get your history? She has no idea.
California used to belong to Mexico.
It used to.